Okay, this video is going to go over the response to the week 14, day 3, 2-question in class exercise. And the main idea about this assignment or this exercise is to show how variables can change throughout a program. And so when you program the code to call a variable, it's calling the current value in the memory location for that variable. So as we can see here, we have these three variables that have been assigned and declared, and they're over here on the right side. So we go into the if else structure, and it says if A is greater than B, well, A is 10 and B is 20, and so A is not greater than B, and so this then is ignored. And then we go on to else. So we go A is equal or is assigned A plus 2, so A is assigned 12. B is assigned B plus 2, so B is assigned 22. And then C is assigned B minus A. Well, B right now, the current value of B is 22. So that is what you are calling is the 22, not the original 20. So this is 22 minus A, and A is now 12. So we're using the values in the memory location. So C becomes 10. Alright, so we have done the else, and now we engage in another if-else structure. And so let's see here, or an if structure. And so if C is less than B, now you look over here, C is less than B, and so we're going to go and do A is assigned A plus B. Well, A is 12 and B is 22, so therefore that becomes 34. And then B here is assigned A plus 3C. So A though is currently 34 and C is currently 10. So 34 plus 10 makes this one 44. And then C is assigned whatever C is plus 10. Well, C currently is 10, so it's going to be increased by 10, so this becomes 20. Alright, and so that takes care of all of that. So then the output is going to be 34, 44, and 20. Alright, let's go on to the second one. The second one, we start out the same. And so we are saying is if B is greater than C. Now B is, this is the other thing that I forgot that we have to talk about, is that we need to establish what happens when we don't have braces in an if-else or an if structure. And so we are going to have to for me, the simplest thing to do is to add the braces so you can read it properly. So when there are no braces in an if-else structure or part of an if-else structure, only the next line after the if statement is going to be considered the clause. So if statement, the if clause, is here and here. It's just one line of code. And so the next line of code here is not part of the if-else structure. But now we have another if structure, and remember we have to start each if structure. In fact, let's back up for a second and let's do this. This is an if structure right here. And then this if statement starts an if or an if-else structure, and we can see that it is actually going to be all of this, because there's only one line after this if statement and only one line after this else. So this is an if-else statement, and then our structure, and then this is just an if structure. So the so when you come down to this if statement, only one line of code is going to be a part of the if clause. And then you have the else statement, and only one line of code is going to be the else statement, or the else clause. I'll squiggle this so it's a little different. Alright, and then this if structure only has one statement in the if clause. Alright, that's what happens. And so, as we go on here, then if B is greater than C, which it is not, then this gets ignored. And then we go on to the next line of code after the if structure. Well, this line right here does not depend on this Boolean expression. So it will always be executed when the program is run. And so C is now assigned C plus A. Well, C plus A is 30 plus 10, which is 40. Alright, then we now come to the next if or if-else structure, and so we have to go to the if statement and check out that Boolean expression. Well, is A less than B? Well, 10 is less than 20, and so what's going to happen is we are going to, whoops, I forgot to do this. We are going to do this if clause and ignore the else clause. And so A is assigned A plus 3, so that's going to be 13. And then we come down to the next line of code, which is because the else was ignored. Now this line of code right here has nothing to do with this if-else structure. The if-else structure is done, so we're going to always do this particular statement. And since it's not part of an if or if-else structure, so A plus B currently is 13 plus 20, so 33 is what will be assigned to C. So we'll do that. So 33. Alright, then we are going to come to another if structure, and so A plus B is currently 33, and then is 33 greater than 33? Well, no, it's not. It's equal to, it's not greater than. So we are going to ignore the if clause, which is only one line, because there's no braces, so the assumption is only one line. And so now we go on to the last line of code, which will be executed because it is not part of an if-else structure. And so A is assigned C plus 3, and so C is 33, so right now this becomes 36. So our output should be 36, 20, and 33. And that's how it goes.